Hello there. Okay, let's assemble the spinner dice. I've already got the magnets in the center, the main disc. If you want to see how that's done, you can watch the assembly video for the last Fidget dial. It's exactly the same as the center disc. You can see this is the D20 version. So we've got 1 through 20 around it. And all the magnets already in there. That takes forever to do, so I'm not going to show that again. It's exactly the same as the last one. But what we do need to do is we need to add magnets now into all of the magnet slots in the case. So that's what we're going to do. I've got just a metal letter opener that I'm going to use for pressing some of the magnets in if I need to, depending on how tight the fit is. So I'm going to move these out of the way a little bit. We'll start with the center dial. The direction of the magnets doesn't matter once you start, when you're starting, but you need them to make sure that they're the same direction once you put the first one in. So we'll do that. The first one doesn't matter the direction. So we're just gonna split off a magnet, and I will use that as a nice holder for it. Just gonna set the magnet in there. See, this is why I have the letter opener. So I'm gonna use the letter opener, put it kind of on the flat section, and then put that on top, and then just gonna try to use this to press it in. And once it gets not great. Once it gets in part of the way, it usually presses in pretty easily, but the slots are fairly tight, and that is because I wanted to press fit the magnets in rather than gluing them in. So all of these slots should be able to press fit in. I think I'm going to actually try a different approach. I'm going to put a magnet down on the bottom. See, we have, for the main dial, we have a magnet slot that goes all the way through. So we need one magnet on the bottom and one magnet on the top of there, because that's what's used for the pivot. So I'm going to put one magnet down on the bottom and just kind of line it up over there. Maybe I'll just press that one in first. You do want to be really careful with the center dial. This section between the outer ridge and the center post is pretty thin, and if you're not careful, you can crack it right around that center post. So I'm going to be a little bit careful. So okay, so it's lined up. I want to push it down in there. Is that in at all? Okay, so you can see we've got it started, but not quite in all the way. So I'm just going to give it a little more force. It's hard to do it at this angle. I might have to move it. See, we're still loose in there. Still not going in. Okay, so we go again. Line up on top. And you could use something to kind of give it a little aggressive motivation. I've got over here, let me see. Okay, what do I have? I've got this, a salt shaker. I love these, by the way, in case anyone's interested. These are glass salt or spice shakers that you can. But I've got a bunch of these. My wife and I love them. But it has a nice flat glass bottom, which is solid. So I'm going to carefully just use it as a hammer and just see if I can get it to go in. Give it a nice whack. See if that did anything for me. Not a bit. Oh, it looks like the magnet might have popped out. So come on, magnet. Okay. Got our magnet on there. make sure it's, yeah, I can see down in it, it's definitely lined up. Let me just give it a nice little whack. Did that do it? That felt like it did it. Okay, that definitely got it started. Let's give it one more good whack. Okay. See, it's still sticking out. Let's give it a little more motivation. I'm being kind of gentle with it, so maybe you can, maybe it needs one more, a good one, a good whack. One more. Okay, that looks pretty flush. This little edge is sticking out still. Maybe I try one more. Okay, let's see. That's fine for now. So you can see it down in there. Okay, now to do the top one, I'm going to do the same thing. Split a magnet off. But now this point where we need it to be the right direction. So you see, because the bottom magnet's there, it's already pulling it the correct direction. So now we're going to do the same thing here, but we can't really smack it down because unless I hit it straight on this magnet, it's going to crack this plastic. So do I have something else? Or actually, here's the side of it. Because the side of it's wide enough. So the problem with this is that this edge is protruding, so it would break it. But if you use the side of it, that might work. That sounded different. That felt like it might have gone in. That looks, I mean, that looks good. And we managed to avoid cracking the disc. We've got made a little dent in it there, but not a big deal. So this disc is the most complicated one to get the magnets in. But now we will move on to the next one, and the next one, the next easiest, I think, is actually the bottom dial right here. And what we're going to do for that, so to make sure that this stays sturdier, I'm going to go ahead and take our number disc, make sure it's the notches lined up with the posts correctly, and then we just drop that on there. That's going to help support this to make sure I don't accidentally tear it apart. But to get our magnet down in the bottom of here, what we're going to do is we again separate off a magnet, set this out of the way, otherwise it's going to try to jump around. Then we just let it fall onto that one. So now we know that's the right direction. We're just going to line it up over there and give it a little bit of aggressive motivation to get in that one. So we just slide it in until it lines up with that hole. Is that lined up? Okay, and then I'm going to grab my every tool is a hammer, salt shaker. Shout out to Adam Savage. Let's try this. I don't want to go too hard because I also don't want to destroy my salt shaker. Got it in most of the way. I'm going to use this. Try to press it in the rest. Okay. That feels nice and flush. And so we can test it by take it and we just slide it over it and see if it snaps into place. There we go. Okay, now we do the same, but for the top, we'll get that one up there for the number disc in a second. So this is the top, so we will grab our magnets. Again, keep it out of the way or it's going to try to grab on stuff. Put it on the top of our dial this time, like that. Then we want to go face down into this magnet slot. So again, we're going to just kind of get it started, lined up pretty close, and then wait for it to fall into place right there. Carefully. Added benefit is, as we're doing this, it's also helping push these magnets in the dial in more. So let's take a look at that. It's in. Is it in all the way? Let's look at it closer. Not quite. Let's see if I can push it in the rest of the way with the opener. Okay. Feels pretty good. So we'll try the same thing. Start it here and just slowly push it and see, make sure it snaps into place. Yep. Okay, so then pull these apart. And we gotta do it here. This will help align it easier also, although it is slightly more complicated. So we need our magnet for that. Separate one magnet off of there. Gonna stay over there for now. Put a magnet roughly over there. But I'm actually gonna pick it up with this. So that is how it's gonna attract the dial. So I'm gonna move this over here. Then we want to put it, again, get it pretty close, and then we'll wait till it feels like it fell in that recess. Did it? Sometimes it's hard to tell by feel. Let's try that again. Let's move it over there. Okay. We're just gonna kind of push down in there. Okay, that looks pretty good, and then we will use our letter opener to give it a little more force, push in there. Seems pretty good. Okay, and we're done with our hammer. You could use a rubber mallet, that'd probably be better, but couldn't find mine, so we're good with what you got. Okay, so now we can take the case halves. This has a crescent recess in here. You can see that that's recessed in there. And then on this one, it has that crescent protrusion, and those just fit together. So you can look at the edges, get it pretty close. There's a little bit of tolerance between them, so they fit, and then they'll snap together. You can see I had a little bit of warping on both of these pieces, and that's why it's not a perfectly straight edge. Doesn't matter, I don't care. It should not affect the functionality at all. You can see that our magnet is straight below the window, which is what it should be, and that is to ensure that when this dial rotates, one number will always end up straight below the window. So I'm not going to glue this in yet. Once I make sure it's working, just put a little bit of glue in the recessed side, press them together, and you're good to go. I'll do that in a minute. But here's how it's going to work. So you take this dial, let's start it all the way apart. So you'd have your number dial, You have your, I guess like numbered disc is what I was calling this. This is the Knurl Dial. So you take your number dial, whichever one you want. Number disc, I just said it wrong again. Put it on there. This is so that you can switch out to a different disc and make it into a different dice number. You can fit this in here. You can see the post on this protrudes just slightly on there, and also in the case, the top has this slot, which is where that post is going to fit in. This keeps it from wobbling side to side and also from going too far back and hitting on the back edge, just improving its spinning ability, not having too much friction. So this just slots in there. I'm just going to gently push it and hopefully it snaps into place. Why is it? Okay, there we go. Oh, that was the magnets around the edge rejecting the center post, which is fine, doesn't matter. Push it in and it should. My brother has a X1 Carbon with an AMS, and so he printed these versions for me, which are this is the turn down D20 and the standard D20, printed in multi-material. You can see on this one, I've already had to ream out the inner hole for the post a little bit to get it to fit on the Knurl Dial. Just want to show how I do that real quick on this one. If I move that out of the way and bring this here. You see when I put it on here, so here, I'll show with this one first. This one, you set it on, it just falls right down. Very, very good fit. Flip it over, it pops right out. And that's also what these holes on the bottom are for, so if it gets stuck on there, you can push up through them to pop the disc out. So with this one, when I put it on, see, it doesn't want to just set down. It doesn't want to fall down. It's staying raised up. So you could just force it down in there, but it's going to be difficult to get it back off. It might even get stuck. And so I'm just going to ream out the center hole a little bit. What I'm going to do that, I have a set of files that I'll use sometimes. These are great needle files. Got some larger ones, and then up here on the top, we've got those thinner needle files. It's got a bunch of different kind. Wire brush. This is a great tool for 3D printing. My favorite kind of flush cutters because they're cheap and last a while. Then I also have a deburring tool, and so this is what I'm going to use. It just has this little curved blade on it that swivels. So what you're going to do, take your disc. Let me adjust the camera a little so I can reach around. I'm just going to hold the disc and just kind of brace it against the table a little. Just gently run it around, and you can see it's taking this little tiny amount of filament off of it. I'm just gonna, and also gonna make sure to get up in this little notch for the pin. You can see we're just barely taking filament off. I'm gonna go back the other way to kind of smooth it out just a little bit. Okay, then brush off any of those little pieces, and then we're going to do the same on the back side. Right here. Just kind of run it around in there. So this, we're just getting rid of that little extra ridge, which should help it fit on still snugly, but loosen up. Just gonna blow those little shavings off. Okay, and then see how it fits now. So just set it over top there. Still a little bit tight on there. Let's see if it'll go down. See, I'm just barely putting pressure on it, and it's still getting stuck. So again, you can just use those holes to pop it out. I think it's getting stuck on the little tab notch, so Gonna do those again real quick. Also, if you're going through a through hole, careful not to take this blade out the other side and catch your finger, because it is sharp. It'll cut you. Ask me how I know. So then let's go here, do it on this one too. Just kind of get that notched out a little bit. We'll try to see how it fits together now. Make sure your notches are lined up. It's pointing this way. The magnets on it are shifting it. See how it fits. Give just a little bit of force. Still doesn't want to go down, so yeah, I can see on there. Tab is still just a little bit too tight. So, and when I'm reaming this out, deburring it, I'm going pretty light on it. It's because I'd rather it be too tight and then just go a little bit at a time, then go too much all at once and then have it be loose. So that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, give it a little more force that time. Maybe now just a little. Okay, let's see how it fits there now. Get these shavings off of there. Now, pops right in there nicely. Man, that looks good with the multicolor. I had him do the disc, the black, obviously, white for the normal numbers, green for the 20, and then ideally it would have been like red or something for the crit fail, the 1, but this is the color he had, so choose your colors what you want to make it. Let's get our case real quick. I have not glued this one together, but I do have the magnets in it, so it'll hold itself together a little bit. Should be able to, yep, just pop those halves together. And then if I hold them together while I take this disc, fit it into the slot, make sure the post fits in with the, you can see right here, see the case top has the notch in it right there. That's for the post to fit in. So you line that up, then just snap fits in, magnets hold it in place. Now I'm pinching it too hard. And then you got your spinner dice. So hold it down here. Yeah, it's binding up because of the case isn't actually glued, so I'm having to hold it. So it's getting caught between numbers. Just a little bit. Also, something I found to get the if it's binding up, just roll it back and forth a bunch. And a little bit of friction will wear it down. Make sure it spins freer. See, like they're stuck between. That's just because I haven't glued the case. I just need to glue the case together. Then if you want to switch it, pull out your disc. Yeah, I'll glue the case in a minute. And then pop out your center disc. You just give it a little bit of force. You want to not push too hard because you don't want to break the thin part of the Knurl Dial. Knurl ring. Just give it, just alternate between these. Giving it just enough force to pop out. Come on, man. See, I could probably have taken that disc a little bit, taken a little more off in there to make it a little bit looser. Something else I've noticed, if you have a bunch of these discs, you can easily take them and stack them up together, and they'll stay together because the magnets. So then I'll take this one. So that was my turn down. Now I want this to be the standard D20. So just line that up, put that disc in there. Now this disc is good to use. Take our case, which is, again, wouldn't have all these problems if I just glued this together. So I should probably just do that. So then you take your disc, line it up in there, make sure the post is lined up. It pops in there. And now you've got your standard D20. So you can see the numbers aren't in order anymore. That makes it so that when you spin it, it's more randomized. And there's not one side of the die that's higher and lower or anything. I think the high contrast of the black and white definitely is very effective. It looks really nice. And then the green he used is pretty close to this mint green. If I did it again, I'd probably use the exact same filament just so that it's, you know, themed together. Okay, let's try gluing this case together. You can see I've already got the magnets in both sides. Last time I messed up the case by not getting it lined up all the way before the super glue set up. So you can see it's just not lined up. The back is together smoothly, and this side is, but this one won't close all the way. So I'm try to do this one. I think I'm going to not start with any accelerant, which is this can right here. I use been using this stuff for years, and it works great. So normally you'd spray that accelerant on one side and then put the actual CA glue on the other side, but that moved too quick for what I'm able to manage. So this time I'm going to try just putting CA glue in the channel, fitting them together, and once they're together, then I might spray the accelerant on that to just get it to set faster, but I might just let it air dry also. So, wish me luck. Let's get some glue primes up. I also have this extra paper towel in case I need to clean up any drips or anything. Start by just getting a little bit of super glue in here. I'm gonna kind of just like, I don't want to squeeze it too much, but I do need it to come out eventually. Yeah, so I'm getting just like a little bead dripping out. Just gonna kind of have it slowly drip out along here. I don't want to use too much, and if I do use too much, I want it to be towards the outside for sure. So we're just gonna get this nice little bead in there. Really, that should be plenty in there. This stuff spreads out quite a bit. Okay, so we got that there. Come on, man. Set that aside for a second. Then I want to make sure these are lined up really nice. So I'm gonna just get this. Gonna line up my edges. Them straight. Press it down together. I'm gonna look around on the other side. See, I got some. Got a little bit of squeeze out there. You can see. So I'm just gonna run that along my extra paper towel. Make sure to fold it in. I'll make sure that The joint's nice and tight. It's hard for me to do this and show. Just I got a little glue squeeze out inside, so I might see about. I want to use this paper towel because it's already got glue on it. So real quick, I'm going to set this back down. Grab another paper towel. With a whole extra roll of paper towel, just in case. And I'm going to fold it up a little. Maybe something a little like this. Grab this and see if I can thread this. Oh, that's go on the outside. This might be too much to reach. I'll try one more time to see if I can get it cleaned out, but it might be just gonna have to be fine. So I'm just threading the paper towel down in there and just trying to like gently brush it out, I guess. I don't think it's actually reaching it, so. See, there's a little bit of squeeze out in there. I think it should be fine still. Closer. Kind of a big bead of it over here. Let me, hold on. If I get half a paper towel, a smaller section. Just gonna get it and see where my squeeze out is. It's kind of difficult to see down in there. It's on this side. So I'm just going to force it down in there and kind of just drag it out, see if I can get any of that glue out. Yeah, that got almost all of it perfect. Okay, so I think this joint is good to my liking. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it on those because those might have a piece of glue. This looks clean here. Okay. I'm going to take my glue bottle, wipe off the tip a little bit, close it back up. This bottle has seen some mileage. This cap has glued itself on a couple times, and so I've had to use pliers to rip it back off, and that's why it's all goobered up, but it works fine still. Okay, now that I've had it, got this on, move these out of the way a little. Got this together, got it where I want it. I'm just going to hit it a little bit with the accelerant. Give it a shake. Should probably wear a mask. I'm going to look away and hold my breath. Maybe try to get on one side. And then I'll get another clean paper towel. Just wipe it off a little. Take all these these paper towels out of the way. Dirty ones, make sure to dispose of those. Leave that there for a second. Okay. I immediately always get the cap and the spray bottle. Put the cap back on. Also put the bottle in my glue bottle. Got little ones running around, and they like to find all the toxic chemicals and play with them, and so caps are important. Okay, so now you can see this is together. Here, let me rotate my camera angle a little bit so I can see a little better. Over here, back to our normal angle, and then I've got a little more dexterity. Okay, so this is the case. You can see down in there, you've got the magnet that will index with the actual number magnets. Our disc is nice and tight all the way around this perimeter. Down in there, you can see we've got a magnet on the top there and a magnet on the bottom for the center pivot. We've also got that channel, which is what indexes with the Knurl Dial to make sure that the disc spins centered and doesn't hit this back wall. So we take this, fit it into our slot. You can see it won't go in right like this because the center post has to index in that channel. Once it goes in, I'll just barely push it in. And we can see that it should pop into place. Once it gets towards those magnets, it pops right in. And you see it lines up with a number automatically. You can spin it. Because of those magnets, it's going to want to index right to those numbers. I found also if right when you first put it together it feels a little bit tight, you can just hold it like the our last fidget spinner dial, and you can hold it and just roll it along. You can see that rolls the numbers. That friction will help wear down the inner parts a little bit, and that can make it spin a little more freely, so you can just kind of roll it back and forth. Rolls nice and freely. So this one, you can manually change it, but it doesn't do you that much. It's mostly good for a spinner dice where you put it on the table in front of you, hold it down a little, and throw it. But one of the benefits of this design is you want to change it, pop it out, and I can push out the back of the Knurl Dial, carefully pop out our number disc. So see that just pops right out. So then this one I can set aside. Say I want to do the spin down version now. You can see I had this stacked with my original D20 number disc. That's another thing I've noticed that's kind of nice, assuming you put the magnets all the same direction. The discs that you're not using, you just take them and they want to stack together because of all those magnets. And so you can have your entire set of discs magnetically stacked together. They won't get lost as easy. And then the one that you're using, you make sure the little notch is lined up with the tab on that Knurl Dial. Line it up there. Push it down into place. Make sure it's lined up right there. Push that disc until it pops in place. And that one's in there. And then we can take it. And in the same way, we just pop it right in there. Push it in our disc. And now the benefit of this one, spins just the same as a die. If you want to spin it as a die. But you can use this, the sequential one, the turn down version. you can use this as like a counter, a health counter or something in D&D. So since they're all in order, you just turn it down, and you can use this as a numerical counter, which I think could be really useful because I've in D&D used either turn down dice, spin down dice, however you want to say it, or use turn down counters before. But this way you can use the same case, same discs, just swap out your numbers, and you can use it for a counter that way. The reason I have the two versions is because you think about it, you look at this, pop out the disc, and you look at this, theoretically, if you're spinning this as a normal die, you have a high side of the die, and you've got like a low side of the die, and a middle side of the die where all the numbers are lined up. It'd be too easy to, spin it where you're more likely to get high or low numbers, whatever you're trying to aim for. This way, on this one, every other number alternates high, low, high, low, high, low, and their counterpart is directly opposite them. So spinning an exact number or spinning within a certain range is, just as difficult as rolling that on a standard die. So that's the purpose of having those two separate versions. So I'll just pop it back in. So that's the 3D printable spinner dice. If you liked the video, then like the video. If you didn't like the video, then dislike the video. Either way, tell me what you think down in the comments. If you want to see more videos about random stuff, then subscribe. You know how YouTube works. Stay Moxious.